G'day, welcome to Endurance Room. I hope you're doing well. Today we're taking a look at the Bars Gorka 4 from Russian Cold Camo. This is a legendary piece of outdoor clothing used by the Russian military and outdoorsmen all over the world. I started out with a Gorka 3 a few years ago when I was first getting going, and that really changed my perspective on what clothing could and should be in a wilderness environment. Prior to the Gorka, I'd been wearing, Carhartts and flannel shirts, things of the sort. And the change between that and the Gorka was night and day. Gorka in Russian translates to little hill. And with that in mind, these are designed for mountainous warfare. It takes its roots back to World War II. The Soviets first saw the Germans using something similar, the German hunters up in the mountains, and when they saw that design, they took it back to Russia and adopted it for their own use. They began using the first Gorka suits in Afghanistan, and then they've gone through a few different design updates over the years. The Gorka 3 is probably the most well-known version, and then the Gorka 4, which we're talking about today, is an update to the Gorka 3. So basically the same overall design, but they did a few key changes. The most noticeable is the anorak style jacket of the Gorka 4. The Gorka 3 has a button-up jacket. The Gorka 4 has a pullover anorak style jacket. It is better suited for use with combat gear, with load-bearing equipment. So I've got on my harness today with my belt rig, and it fits right over top of the anorak style pocket and then still gives you access to the slant pockets of the hips. Now, what's special about it for me is the fabric. It's 100% cotton canvas that has a very particular weave to it that helps block wind from coming in, helps keep your body heat inside, yet it's still breathable, and it helps stop water. The way that it's woven together, the threads swell up when moisture sits on it and gets tighter, preventing water from permeating and coming through, getting your skin wet. Very similar to the fabric used on the Plash Palatkas. The Gorka suit is water resistant, not waterproof. So if you're expecting heavy rain, I would add a poncho or a rain suit. You can also add water treatment to your suit, but that's going to affect the breathability. In addition to the canvas tent fabric that makes up the suit, it's also got Ripstop fabric that reinforces all the high stress areas like the shoulders, the elbows, the knees, the seat. The panels also help break up the overall color scheme of the suit, giving it a very effective camouflage for a variety of environments and conditions. The suit is meant to have a very loose, relaxed fit, which aids in freedom of movement, as well as the ability to add additional underlayers to tailor your clothing to your environment. Let's take a closer look at some of the features of the suit, starting with the jacket first. The center pocket is divided on the interior with a secondary pocket that has a Velcro closure. It's a great place to store things like your car keys, maybe your ferro rod, compass, or map. Below the center pocket are two slant style pockets for your hands that are roomy enough to store gloves. The hood of the jacket offers protection all the way up to your throat. It has sliding locks on the side as well as the rear, which allows you to cinch the hood up around your hat, keeping your headgear in place and allowing the hood to turn with your head, which is an incredibly useful feature. Elastic is placed at key locations like the sleeves and the ankles to help secure the suit, preventing it from being too baggy, while at the same time allowing it to help trap air around the body. There's also a drawstring with a sliding lock at the bottom of the jacket. You can use this to pull the jacket in around the hips and improve the warmth. The pants feature removable suspenders, wide belt loops. There's also slant style pockets at the hips, roomy cargo pockets on either side of the legs, as well as pockets at the rear. The Gorka 3 and Gorka 4 pants are nearly identical, except for at the bottom near the cuffs. The Gorka 3 has fabric that ties off around the ankles, which serves as a tick trap, preventing ticks from climbing up your legs, which is pretty cool. The Gorka 4, on the other hand, uses a stirrup that secures with a button, and this helps lock your pants down around your boots, which is pretty convenient, especially if you have a pair of shorter boots on. You've probably noticed the color of my Gorka 3 has faded quite a bit since I first got it. And that's due to using the washing machine, and I also used the dryer one time, which shrunk it quite a bit. So I only use cold water. I put it in a 5-gallon bucket, wash it by hand, and I only do it maybe a couple times a year, and I wear my Gorkas quite a bit. So just wash it by hand, cold water only, and then let it air dry. But there you have it, guys, the Gorka 4 from Russian Cold Camo. If you're interested in survival, bushcraft, maybe just camp on the weekends, whatever you're into, any and all of the above, you would be hard-pressed to find a better clothing option than a Gorka suit. I got my first Gorka because I was interested in long-term survival. I had auditioned for the TV show Alone, and I was looking at, spending 2 or 3 months out in the middle of nowhere. And when I came across the Gorka, I picked one up shortly after, and I have never, ever regretted it. It literally has changed my game as far as clothing goes out in the woods. I think it is one of the most underrated and underappreciated aspects of your woods gear. Everybody's talking about knives and, their saws, their backpacks, their ferro rod techniques. But their clothing, that is your first line of defense. That's your first element of shelter. And if your clothes are right, you're going to be much further ahead. If you're still curious whether you should get a Gorka 3 or a Gorka 4, either would be excellent. I think the Gorka 3 is probably a little better suited for warmer climates, warmer environments. If you're in a colder area, the Gorka 4 would serve you very well. It'll give you a good deal of protection. All right, everybody. I hope you're good. We'll catch you soon. Cheers.